Good evening, District 7, and welcome to another session of the Public Relations Forum. I am Fred Bergeron, your Public Relations Manager, and I have a very special guest with me today. Distinguished Toastmaster and past District Director Becky McGilton had never heard about Toastmasters until a friend invited her to attend a meeting. That was almost 16 years ago. She was a shy, borderline introvert until then. Her transformation was slow at first, but there is no stopping her now. Over the years, Becky has served in every officer role multiple times, served at the area, division, and district level. Over the years, she has accumulated knowledge on many of the tools available to use to ensure club success. Her position as a quality project manager has taught her how to work smarter, not harder. One of the tools available for our use is Meetup. Tonight, Becky will be sharing how to use Meetup effectively to promote your club in the community, to draw in guests who in turn may become members and help your club grow. Please welcome to the virtual lectern my friend from District 84 and past District 84 Director, Becky McGilton. The floor is yours, Becky.
So, do you know about Meetup? Is that something that you're familiar with? I know you are, Fred. And it was Elio? Is it Elio?
Yes,
Oh,
I
Elio.
know it. Yeah.
You know of Meetup. Okay. So Meetup is just one of the many tools, social media tools, that is, that a club can use to get the word out about what you're doing, what your mission is, what it is that you are trying to accomplish to help your club be successful. So tonight I'm going to talk just a little bit of background about Meetup and what it does, and then I will go into how to join a group, how to create an event, and then I will probably stop sharing the presentation and actually do a little bit of demonstration using the District 84 Meetup account and show you exactly how simple and easy it is to go that one step farther to help promote your club within the community. All right. So life is happening on Meetup. When I did a little bit of research on Meetup, there's not a whole lot of information out there, but I was able to glean a little bit. And those few bits of information that I picked up, I captured here. So right now, especially since COVID, more people are looking to make connections. They're looking to make those connections through social media, through personal avenues, in any way that they can. They're just looking to make those connections. There is no question that the pandemic had a lot to do with that. It created new challenges and some difficult challenges that all of us had learned to deal with, I guess I could say, for lack of better things to say. Look at what it did to Toastmasters. What did our clubs have to do to succeed? We had to learn how to become and survive in a virtual world. Otherwise, our clubs literally fell to pieces. It forced us to look at new ways of doing things. We also can benefit from strong and supportive networks, and that is the whole premise of Meetup, is to help people network with like-minded groups and people, and it's a perfect way to do it. Plus, it also makes it extremely easy to stay connected with others through online events. And promoting events through Meetup, it is strictly, as I mentioned, a social media tool that can be used to help promote your club, any special events that you might be having, anything of import that you might use to draw the community to your club, to visit your club, and they might potentially become a member. There is strengths in numbers. We know that from a Toastmasters perspective, that a Toastmasters club shoots for a strength of 20 individuals, because a strong, healthy club can survive with less than that. But life happens. We know that. And if you have 20 members in your club, it's almost a guarantee that all 20 members will never be there at every single meeting. But if you start with a base of 20 and you're missing a few, you still have enough people in the club to have quality meetings, which will then do a great job of impressing your guests, that you can hold quality meetings and have fun and still do that on a regular basis. One of the benefits that comes out of having strength in numbers is friendships. I joined Toastmasters, as it was mentioned in my intro there, that I'm borderline introvert, and I still have my introverted moments where I'm perfectly fine staying at home and being just Becky, having Becky time. But my circle of friends, I would say when I first moved to Florida 16 years ago, was, let's say, this big. And now it is huge, just because of the friendships that I have created throughout my Toastmasters journey. Networking is also a positive tool that can be used for filling positions, not just helping your clubs out, but people are out there looking to find things to do, especially if they're new to an area. They're looking for jobs. They're looking for groups to join. They're looking for activities to get involved with. So Meetup is a great tool to help you get there. And the most important thing to remember about Meetup is that it doesn't need to be a really daunting task. Some people say, oh my God, it's another tool that I have to learn. But I think I've picked up on Meetup much faster than I ever picked up on Facebook. I still struggle with Instagram. I still struggle with LinkedIn. I'm okay at Facebook, but Meetup I'm very, very familiar with, because I've been helping the district out with it for about 5 or 6 years now. So I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty familiar with Meetup. Although every once in a while they challenge me as well, because they'll throw a doozy at me, and I got to get the old thinking cap on and really work my way through it just to figure out what in the heck is going on, just to get it fixed so it can continue to work for our clubs and our members. This using Meetup has a way to help you, is a way to help you change somebody's life. And there are ways that you can do that by promoting your events through Meetup, hosting an event. You can change a life. You can make those personal connections that make a huge difference, not just in your life, but to the lives of those that you are interfacing with. Those people that you perhaps introduced to Toastmasters, they join a club and they find that it is really something that helps them, and they thrive and they grow. It can really make a huge difference. So what you want to do, first and foremost, is make sure that your club is connected with the community. And you do that through your Meetup group and getting it publicized and get the word out there about your club. And usually your VPPRs for your clubs are the ones that do most of the promoting for the clubs. And as the VPPR, you want to be that catalyst. You want to be that person that can get out there and get the word out about your club. But it doesn't have to just be the vice president of public relations. It can be anybody who gets designated to become an event organizer within the Meetup group. It just needs to have somebody who's willing to make sure that you're always getting the word out about your club, have that presence out there, along with any other of the social media tools that you use. You really want to make sure you start to incorporate Meetup and use Meetup as well. Now, one of the things that I got challenged with a lot when I first started working with Meetup was people said, well, I joined a Meetup group and now all of a sudden I'm just being inundated with these emails from Meetup. And yes, I was there too, because when I first started, I didn't know how it worked. But there are ways that you can limit those notifications. And I actually have it figured out now. It might have something to do with where I live at. I live like out, I don't live in the city proper. I live out, there's no businesses local, there's nothing happening, shall we say, in my neck of the woods. But you just don't select any interests other than your Toastmasters, and you put your mileage at 2 miles. And guess what? If you set your general settings there, and then you go into the email settings and you turn off all the notifications except for those few interests that you've flagged, then you're not going to get any emails other than specific to your Toastmasters club. Like I said, I've been doing Meetup now for the district for about 5-6 years, but for my clubs, we've been doing Meetup for even longer than that. And probably in the last 5 years, I haven't gotten more than a handful of non-Toastmasters related Meetup notifications. So if you take the time and you go in and you set your general and your email settings properly, you won't get inundated with all of those notifications. And every time somebody comes up and tells me, well, I don't want to join the group because I don't get all those emails. I don't want all that stuff in my inbox. So I'm okay. Becky's got a half hour. Let's have a quick Zoom call. Let's get your Meetup set up right so you don't get all those notifications. And I do that constantly with people, and people are quite pleased with it, and they're staying within the groups and they're promoting their clubs, and it really is making a difference. One thing that I've been encouraging the clubs that I'm a member of to do is when you have a guest come in, how often do you ask them, how did you hear about us? Do you do that, Elio?
Of course, we have the survey for
Mhm,
which platform that you come. Either it is
mhm,
Facebook, Instagram, because we want to measure how we can get connected with them after the meeting.
mhm. And then do you track that? Do you have somebody who's
Yes,
actually tracking? Oh, this person,
the VPM.
yeah, you do. Okay, good, because that's how you know and how you can identify what's working. But something to keep in mind is, let's say Meetup right now is working for you. In 6 months, Meetup might taper off a little bit. So now all of a sudden you got to focus on Facebook. You always have to be on top of the statistics to see exactly what it is. How is it that people are hearing about your club, and be ready to adapt to each one of those cases. Like I said, worked with my clubs, and we have a tracker now. Every time we have a guest, and we capture it so we can go back and say, well, let's see, in the last 6 months, we had 6 guests that heard about us through Meetup. We had 10 that found out about us on Find a Club. So we know the Toastmasters International website will send us people if we're posted and have good information on the TI website too. So, but we track that because it helps us to make sure we're focusing on the right social media tools to help get the word out about our club. Okay, so before I go into talking about how to join a Meetup group, are there any questions that you have?
Not yet.
I have one, Becky, and that is what all districts are different, and some districts use Meetup and some don't. How
Mm-hmm.
is District 84 implementing Meetup as a whole to either the clubs, the division, or the areas that maybe some other districts can adapt?
Okay, I was going to talk about that a little later, but that's fine. I can do that right now. So here in District 84, our district actually pays for a meetup group by division, not each individual division, but like say a geographic area. For instance, we have 2 divisions in the Jacksonville area. Well, we used to have 2 meetup groups, but we weren't seeing the benefit from paying for 2 different accounts. So we combined it. So there's a meetup group for the Jacksonville area. There's a meetup group for the Orlando. There's a meetup group for the Tallahassee area. So we have a total of 7 meetup accounts, or groups, I should say, that District 84 actually pays for out of their marketing budget that they get on an annual basis. Remember, that money comes from the membership dues. And so the district's actually putting that back to use for growth in the clubs. That's the intent of it. But they pay that dues, and then we have coordinators who have access to each one of those groups and can post events to get them on the calendar so that the word gets out within the community. Now, I do know some clubs that want to do their own thing, shall we say. They don't want to take advantage of what the district is providing to the clubs for free, and they do a paid account. You can join Meetup for free. You can join a group for free, but if you want to form a group, then you have to actually pay into Meetup to form a group. And so here in District 84, the district took it upon ourselves, and I think we did that back in the 3-year period when I was serving in the trio, is when we started doing the Meetup accounts for the different divisions here within District 84. So they pay for it, and all we have to do is we ask every year the VPPRs, because they're the ones that do the majority of the promotion. We have asked them to request to be added as an event organizer. We go in, whoever the group organizers are, we will go in, we will add those people as event organizers, and then they will have the capability to go in and post their meetings or any special events on the Meetup calendar for that particular division. And then if it's something really special and they want to post it on the district-wide calendar, then all of those requests come to me, and I post them on the district's calendar, because I do that for the district. I do the master calendar for the district Meetup page.
Okay, and second part of that question I have, Becky, is do you have a way of tracking maybe the statistics or the results of each maybe division that uses this? Is there some type of tracker that you have access to?
No, there is, from all the research that I've done, I have not found anything equivalent to like the Google Analytics or, the Facebook algorithms that tell you, well, if you do this, you're going to get better traffic. Or I don't know that there's anything like that for Meetup, which is why, I asked the question earlier about, do you as a club keep track of how your people are hearing about you? Because that's the best way each club can identify whether or not Meetup is working for them.
Yeah, because that's one thing I do when I'm Toastmaster. And then we just put it on our checkbox, like Facebook, Meetup, club website. That's basically how we track it. We don't have like an actual tracking system per se, but we just kind of put it in a checkbox.
Yeah, we keep it. Well, most of the clubs that I'm with, because I've more or less established this with those clubs, we put it as part of our stored minutes. So we log in our guests, how did they find us, and so forth. So because we do that also part of as a membership drive for, an incentive for the club, because at the end of each year, people get prizes, guests, based on how many guests they brought in, if those guests became members, it's all part of that ongoing membership drive. So we track it diligently. Probably wouldn't be tracked as diligently if Becky hadn't created the tool for doing so, because that's my forte is working with data and numbers. That's what I do every day. That's my job.
Okay.
So,
well, thank you, Becky, and let's continue on letting us know how to join a group.
did you have any questions before I go in and talk about how to join a group? No? Okay. All right. So it's pretty simple to join a meetup group. All you really, my slide shifted. So all you have to do is know the name of your meetup group. For instance, here in District 84, I would just search for on Meetup Division B Toastmasters, and it's going to find me the meetup group for Division B. I can search for Division D or E or A, any of the divisions, and it's going to find them here locally. And then as soon as you open the page up, there's a button, big red button, join group. You click that button, you enter your information in there. It's as simple as that. You do that and you are a member of that meetup group. As I mentioned earlier, no cost to join a group. Only if you want to form a group. If you want to create a group and have a group of your own, that's where the cost will come in. Very, very simple to join a meetup group. And I see I have a duplicate in here. I really wanted to stress the fact that people get upset about getting excess notifications. So I have that covered in here twice. Actually, I used to break this out into 3 separate, like 10-minute sections. I would talk first about Meetup in general, then I would talk about joining a group, and then I would talk about how to create events. So you might even see this a 3rd time, who knows, because I just put all the presentations together. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, anybody who can keep the meetup up to date and active, because it's also important that it's kept current and relevant, just like if you have a free toast or a easy speak. I'm not familiar with the other one, so I don't know it as much. I think it's easy speak. If you have one of those club websites, it's really important that you keep that club website up to date. It needs to be relevant. It needs to be current. It needs to be engaging with a viewing audience. Well, your meetup events need to be the same thing. So just be that catalyst. Be the person that when you see that the invite come up for your meeting, go click on the button and say, I'm going. Because if you have a new person who's new to the community and they're looking for something to do, and they see 2 events posted on Meetup, same time, this one says it's got 10 people going. This one says it's got 2. Which one do you think they're going to go to? Probably the one with 10 people as opposed to the one with 1 or 2. So encourage your club members, if you decide to go that avenue and use Meetup to post your club events, have your members join the Meetup group and then go out there and just click, I'm going. Well, they call it, that's RSVP. I'm going is Facebook or something else, but it's just RSVP. So you RSVP and they know that you're going. It's so simple to do. And then that's how you can help further promote the club, because it's going to look like the club is more lively and engaging when you have 10, 12, 15 people going, as opposed to the host, the person that created the event. If they're the only one that ever responds that they're going and they don't have a choice, as soon as they create the event, they're automatically going. Whether they go or not is different, but you show up as going if you create the event. So it's really important to get the club members involved too, should you decide to use Meetup as a social media tool to help promote your club. And we'll just skip right past that one. And so that's how easy it is to join a Meetup group. Any questions on joining a Meetup group before I start talking about how to create events on Meetup?
Yes, Becky, I have one, and that is the division I was part of has basically folded. So, and I know you say you would combine that division with others. So would I have to rejoin a group in that particular combined division, or would it be automatically transfer over? How does that work?
When I say, for instance, Division I was the one that we downsized one division. I took all of the events on the Division I calendar and I recreated them on the combined calendar that it was, I forget which one I paired it up with. But whichever one I paired it up with, I moved all the events over, and then I took all the event organizers off because we wanted to shut the account down. So we had to have it wiped out. And then I sent a blast email to all of the members of that meetup group and told them that this is what was happening. This meetup, because the division was being dissolved, all the events were being transferred over to this. I gave the link. I told them you'll need to go join this meetup group so that you can continue to see your events posted on the meetup calendar. So everybody that was in the Division I group should have gotten that email, that blast email. And I know I got it. And so it went out before the page was actually shut down. And actually we left the groups open for about 2 months before they actually went away. They're actually gone now, but they stayed posted for about 2 months, even though the calendars had nothing left on them or anything. But that's how I handled that, was to send that blast email to notify everybody that you would need to go join the new group.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I gave the link to the one that, whichever one it was that you were being directed to.
Okay, my other question is, with the change of officers, like my home club, we just had a new slate of officers, so we have a new VPPR. How would that new VPPR be added to that meetup group?
They would send a group. No, how about send an email to the meetup contact, and I believe there's one on the District 84 webpage, because I get forwarded the emails that come from people. And when that email comes in, it goes into the District 84 Gmail account, and then they forward anything that's for Meetup to me. And then I would go in, I would first look to see if that person is a member of the group. If they're not, I'm going to send them an email. I'd be happy to help you out and get you signed up as an event organizer. Please let me know who you're replacing so I can take that person off and then put the new person on once they've joined the group. And if they've already joined the group, then I just go ahead and I make them an event organizer.
Thank you, and I'll be passing that on to our new VPPR, because he did ask about Meetup when he was taking over. And I said, that's a Becky McGilton question, and I'll be glad to ask her.
And I'm always willing to help.
Thank you, Becky. Elios, do you have any questions for Becky?
Not yet.
Yep. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and chat a little bit about creating events on Meetup. Now, you might have more questions, Elio, when I get to do actual live demonstration. You might come up with a question or two, but we'll see. All right. So here we're talking about the event organizers. Those are the ones that create the events. So if you're not a current event organizer, you have to send a request. And as I mentioned earlier, since the VPPR is the one who is the public relations person for the club, they really should be the event organizer. But, you know, some people are afraid of social media. Some people don't like to deal with social media. But just as long as the club has one person, if, you know, that they could have to be that event organizer, just to make sure that the club has that presence. And worst case scenario, nobody wants to do it. If you send the information to me, I'm going to post the information for the club. I will put their repeating event on the calendar. And then the only time they might need to change something is if they want to, you know, if they got a special event and they want to change the title for that particular meeting or change the picture, then I personally don't have time to do that for 100+ clubs, but I'm more than willing to help them at least get posted on the calendars so that the community can see what's happening when it comes to Toastmasters. From the actual calendar page within the division group, that's where you create the events. You go to the calendar, you will hover over the date that you want to create the event for, and a plus sign is going to be there. You click on the plus sign, it opens up a pop-up where you put all the information in about your event, whether it's a one-time event, whether you're adding your recurring meetings to the calendar so that people will see that you meet every Tuesday, or you meet the first and third Tuesday, or whatever the frequency is of your meetings. They'll have the time, they'll have the place, they'll have the length, and they'll have the location. I always try to tell people to have a photo, make it an engaging photo, but also make it, I don't want to say don't put pictures of people, but if you're going to put pictures of people, chances are you need to change those pictures more frequently, because people leave the group, people join the group. So you always want to make it relevant, just like your club's website. I personally would rather just put images or a word flyer or something like that, or use a Toastmasters stock photo, because then you don't have to worry about changing it when you have new faces in the group and so forth. Because if you don't keep up on that, just like with your club's website, if you don't keep up on that and somebody goes out to visit your club website and you have a picture on your homepage that shows 30 people, well, yeah, they were the 30 people that chartered the club 5 years ago. Chances are the majority of those people aren't with the club anymore. And so therefore that picture is not relevant to the club's current status. So I personally don't like photos on a home page for anything, but that's just Becky, and that's just something that Becky's learned over the years. Once you get your event details in there, then it's an easy save to do that. If your event is going to be hybrid, then this is something that I learned the hard way. There is an option to make something an online event, but once you make it an online event, Meetup disables the location. So you're better off putting the location, because you can do a little geotag map pin to where it's at. You can do that in Meetup. And then in the text body of the text where you're talking about the description, we also offer a hybrid format. And if you want to put your actual Zoom information in there, or if you want to say contact so-and-so for Zoom information, every club's different. Some people have paranoia about putting their Zoom links out there. Some people just put the information out there for the world to see. Everybody has different opinions about it. But that's my recommendation, is only make it an online event if it is strictly an online event. Otherwise, you're totally taking out the opportunity to put the location and pin it for people to actually see a map of where it's at. Okay. And then you will see, I actually got ahead of myself there. So you're going to set it up, you're going to save it, and then you're going to preview it, make sure it's all okay, and then publish it. Once you publish it, it goes to the calendar, and then it's going to ask you if you want to announce it now. You can. If it's happening within the next few weeks, I will go ahead and announce it. Everybody who's in that group is going to get a notification. Hey, there's this event coming up on Meetup in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever the case may be. But if maybe it's a recurring meeting that you're just adding to the calendar, I just publish them. I don't announce them. I just publish them. And then if you return to the calendar, if you do a refresh on the calendar, the event should be there, and you will know that you've done it correctly. Now, the Meetup calendar will only show usually 2 events because it's line limited, but there'll be a little plus sign on the on that particular day, and you just click, or show more. It says show more. You click the show more, and it'll list everything that's happening that day, because you have some places you got 3 or 4 meetings the same night, and you need to get them all on the calendar so people have choices, right? And once again, if you have those choices, which one are they going to go to? The one that has 1 or 2 people, or the one that has 10 or 12? They're going to go to the one that's got the most people because they're looking to make those connections. And that's one of the benefits of using Meetup. It's about making those connections. And just like for everybody else, I'm always willing to help people with Meetup, at least until they can understand how it works. So I would share my email and help out if needed. Okay, so that is the slides. Now, if you'd like for me to, I can go in and do a little bit of a live demo if you would like. If I could get my screen to come back here. Escape. There we go. So would you like me to go in and show a little bit of live demo?
I say yes, and I believe Ilios said the same. He said
Yes.
thank you as well.
Okay, all right. So let me shrink a few things on my desktop. I have a very busy desktop because this I'll just probably share my here, this is what I'll do. Let me minimize that, not close it. Let me open up one new tab, separate it out from everything else, and shrink that one. Now I just have one tab open. Let me share my screen again. Okay, and I'll just share my desktop this time. It'll be easier. All right. So you can see my Google screen here, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So we're gonna go. I'm going to go to Meetup, and of course, I'm all about working smarter, not harder. So I have shortcuts to everything. Meetup. If I use it more than once or twice, I'm creating a link so I can get there quickly. So this is the Division B Meetup group here in District 84. Now, if I was not a member of this group, where this red button, it still says join this group, even though it's because I'm not logged in. So right now, I could have the option to join this group, but if I put my information, it would tell me a user already exists with this information. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And I'll log in with my own credentials. Maybe. Well, maybe I'm going to log in just because it's not letting me log in with my own. I'll just log in as the district coordinator. It doesn't matter. All right. So now see how that join this went away because I'm already a member of the group. And there's a couple of other things that you can do here. I might as well show you that while I'm here. You can look to see how many members are in the group. Some things you won't be able to look at because if you're not an organizer, you won't see them. But anybody who goes out there, you can see other people that are members of the group. You can't see their status or anything, but you can know, you can see who's in the group. So whenever you want to create an event, the first thing you have to do is you have to go to this events tab. And then you want to go to the calendar. So the calendars right now, this is not a very busy calendar because I'm in the process of rebuilding it. We had a little problem here in District 84 where we had our Meetup account just went away and we lost like everything. And so I am now in the process. And don't ask me why I started from this side of the week and working this way, but I did. So I got all the Saturdays done. I got the Fridays and I was working on the Thursday. So I still have to finish up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So the Division B calendar usually looks a lot fuller than this. It's just I haven't had, I do still work full time. So I work on it when I can, rebuilding all of the calendars to back where they were before we got lost. But let's say we're going to create, I'm going to go to the 21st here. You see how this little plus sign comes into view when I hover over the date? You click on that. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it on this one so you can see better. So if I go over here, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to try to kill two birds with one stone. I wanted to put another one on this date so you could see the show more as well, but it's not going to, for some reason, allow me to do that. So we'll just do this way. All right, so you click on the plus sign. You're going to, something new. There's something new out here. You can generate an event with AI. That's an update. That's a recent update. That wasn't like that the last time I signed in. But let's just say I'm just going to do a test. So I'm just going to create a test so you can see what it's like. And it's going to be Thursday, the 15th of February at 7 o'clock. It's going to be 2 hours. And let me just go grab a picture here real quick. I'll just grab something. Let's grab a picture. I'll just grab a picture of my daughter. What the heck? Uh-oh. It's too big. Too big of a picture. So let's grab something. Let's try this one. There we go. There's another picture of my daughter. And then I'm going to hit save. So the picture, so adding pictures is really easy. You saw what I just did. It's a drag and drop. You put the picture in there. If it's too big of a picture, it's going to tell you, which is what it did with the first one. Too big, try again. And then you're going to put your description in there. This is what you want to give the people enough information to pique their interest, but you don't want to make it so long that it takes them 5 minutes to read what it's all about. So you want to make sure you get all of the information in as brief as possible, concise as possible, but thorough. So you want to make sure you get because you've already got your date, your time, your location. So now what is it they can expect to do? What are you about? Do they need to bring anything with them? And how to find the group. So that's the information that you want to put in here. And if this is a hybrid event, you would also put that Zoom information in here. And I see they even give you I'm going to have to go out here and play around with this and see what AI can do. This is new. I love new tools, new toys. Okay, and then you just want to scroll down and you want to pick some things that are going to, when somebody searches for something on Meetup, just like on Facebook, there's that algorithm that based on certain things, it's going to find things for you. So typically we pick Toastmasters, personal development, and I think maybe networking. We'll pick those 3. And then you can go, oh my gosh, oh, this is going to be, I'm definitely going to have to play because it looks like you can set it up for hybrid. Ooh, we're going to pick that. Oh, no, you have to pay for that. So we're not picking that. So we're going to go in person. See, when you click on things, you see things that happen. All right. So this is going to be even though this club meets hybrid, we're calling it an in-person event because we meet at, let's just say we're meeting at this is Kaiser University. So we're going to select that. This is stored there because this is locations that I've used recently. So we're going to put a location in there, and then it's going to give us the option to put the map in there. And usually the map just loads. Oops, I did not want to do that either. Well, there's the map. It's usually in here though. Interesting. I wonder if I have to save it before it comes up there. You can add, if there's any COVID measures that your club does, you can put that in there. The host is the person that's creating the event. So this is going to show up as Toastmasters D84 organizer because that's how I'm logged in right now. So that's going to show that I'm the host of this event. If there's ever a fee, which obviously our Toastmasters meetings, we don't usually have them. If this is going to be your regular meeting and you meet every week, you want to set it, whether you meet every week or every other week or whatever the case may be, you want to go ahead and set it up as a repeating event so that you don't have to go out here and create every event every single time. And there's a little trick to doing that. If you're fortunate enough and you meet every week, then you would just then we're going to repeat every week on Thursday at 7 o'clock and you're done. However, if you are one of the clubs that meets like say the 1st and 3rd, then you're going to hit it. You're going to go down here and you're going to go you have to actually create 2 events, but you can always copy and paste the first one and just change the date. So there's little tricks that you can learn the more familiar you get with Meetup, but you would say every month. And then that way it will, and I never set an end date because then if you forget to go out and fix your end date, then you're going to expire on the calendar. So if you just have a repeat every month. It just goes on in perpetuity on the Meetup calendar. Then it's going to come back, and we're going to go ahead and hit, there's some, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on. There's some words down here at the bottom. Oh yeah, cookies. Okay, fine. All right. So here's where I was talking about before, the preview and the publish. So we're going to hit a preview of this, and it's my test on the 15th at 7 o'clock, and it's 2 hours long. Oh, and I'm going to have to, that's right. You have to at least put something in here. It will not accept blank. You have to put something in there. All right. And it told me that. It told me that I had a problem, and you notice that that block was surrounded with red, which means it had a mistake. And it told me you must have something here. All right, so I can preview it again. And this time the preview will probably be okay. Yeah, see that big orange banner across the top is gone. Here. So now you see how over here, it now tells us it's every third Thursday, because I set it up to repeat every month. And it gives the location with the little map. Okay. And like I said, if you make it an online event, all that's going to show over here is the Zoom information. So this map and this address, this physical location, would not be there if you call it an online event, even though if it's a hybrid. So you're better off leaving it as an in-person event and then putting your Zoom information in the description. And then once you look at it and everything looks like you want it, then all you do is you hit publish. And it says, do you want to announce it? Well, I'm not going to announce this because it's just a test. I don't want to send a message to everybody who's in the Division B group that Becky's doing a test of Meetup. So we're not going to announce it. I'm just going to go ahead and close that screen. And then I'm going to go back to the calendar, to the Division B calendar here. And there it is, test. So you can always go back right away and check and make sure your events are on there. Okay, any questions on how to create an event?
No, thank you.
It's pretty, like I said, it's pretty simple. And I actually have, that I could send to Fred, I actually have some slides with a few screenshots that kind of just show everything that I just did. And if you get people, Fred, that are interested and might want to look at using Meetup and setting up some events on the calendar, I would be happy to share those slides. I know I have them, I just have to find them. And actually, I might want to refresh them now that I see that there's some new things out there with the incorporation of being able to use AI. I might have to play around a little bit this weekend. I got a 3-day weekend coming up. So I might have to play around with the AI thing and see what it does.
Well, I like AI. That's pretty cool, Becky. And your email address and phone number are up there, so they'll see it on the screen on the playback.
All right. So are there any other questions about joining a group? Because I showed you how to do that at the beginning. The red button that says join this group. That's how you would join a Meetup group. And then if you wanted to start your own, you can see up here at the top, it's start a new group. But once you start going through that process, then they're going to want the pay. That's when you're going to pay if you want to start a new group. But as long as you're just joining a group that's in existence and you want to become an event organizer, then you just do what I just showed. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
I'm good, Becky. I think Elio said he's good.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much all I had to share. And it actually took 55 minutes. I'm surprised.
Yep.
I thought I'd be done like in a half hour.
No, that's fine.
I tend to talk fast, so.
Yes. So I was going to ask you, while we're at the end of the hour, Becky, do you have any final words or advice about people using Meetup, like say people that aren't using it now and why they should, or, just stuff about Meetup in general?
Well, like I said at the beginning, it's just another one of those tools that's out there to help clubs to be able to promote the clubs within their community. If you can get the district to help offset the cost like we do here in District 84, if they're willing to set up some of the group accounts, I can ask Vicky, I could ask our district director, because I think we condensed it down to where it's actually more affordable than it was before. I mean, we paid for it regardless, but I think the way we've got it set up now, we've actually minimized the cost to the district. And so, and they're actually, like I said, they're helping everybody. They're helping the members, they're helping the clubs make those connections within the community to help, you know, grow membership within the clubs. And just, you know, like with anything, you have to try different things. You have to rotate. I talked about that earlier. Yeah, Meetup might work for you for a bit, but then maybe it dies off a little bit. And so then you try something different. But I would say at a minimum, try to get at least your recurring club meetings, which is what you'll see here on this calendar. The ones that I do have, we have, you know, Peace Talkers, who meets the first and the third Saturday of each week. We have the Harbor City Club that meets on the second and fourth Saturday. We have a club here that meets every Friday morning. If you at least get your meetings posted, your recurring meetings on the calendar, then anybody who happens to search for Toastmasters, leadership or professional development, or what was the other one I picked? Networking. So if they pick any of those keywords in their Meetup search, your event or your page is going to come up, and then they can see the calendar. And usually when you open up a Meetup group, it's going to come up with the list. So the list will take your events, your upcoming events, and they'll put them here in list form. So you can see the upcoming events in the area.
Yep, and those keywords come up automatically, Becky?
There's just a list, and you just pick the ones that you want to put.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it gives you the options to put different, you know, different ones, and you just pick the ones. Sometimes I'll alternate. I might put fear of public speaking. Sometimes I might put something else, but I usually always try to keep leadership, personal development, networking, something along those lines, at least 2 of the 3. I think you can pick 3 different key things. And I always try to keep those 2, at least, you know, of the 3, keep some sort of networking or leadership development, professional development, that type of thing in there, because that's what people are looking for.
Okay,
That's
great.
what people are looking for.
Yeah. Well, Becky, if you could stop sharing your screen, I'm going to give a quick shout out for our next guest.
Stop share. There we go.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for that presentation, but I'm going to give a quick shout out to our next guest. So everybody, please stay tuned on February 27th for your next guest, who will be, oh gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Who's the guest going to be? Oh, it's going to be me, where I'm going to be teaching you how to market your clubs without using social media. It's nothing against Becky. It's just, like she said earlier, it's another tool to market your club. So stay tuned on February 27th, same bat time, same bat channel, where you will have yours truly showing you how to market your clubs without using social media. I'm Fred Bergeron signing off. Becky McGilton, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I learned a lot more about Meetup, and I'll make sure that our Club BPPR gets access to this. Thank you very much again. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you on the 27th. And happy Valentine's Day tomorrow.